Hallo, herzlich willkommen zu Lamplight City, letzter Fall wohl. Der finale Fall, wie es scheint und wie auch das Internet es sagt. Wir nähern uns dem Ende und tatsächlich erstmal nur mit mir. Jenny ist noch unterwegs, aber wir wollen ja immer fertig werden und vorankommen. Und deshalb muss ich jetzt erstmal alleine starten. Jenny kommt sicherlich in den nächsten Folgen noch dazu. Was ist geschehen? Gucken wir uns erstmal die Skizzen an. Ich weiß nicht, können wir die hier auch... Ah ja.
What's the
Hier direkt
point?
untersuchen.
It's not like you're actually going to be able to investigate this case.
Im Übrigen seht ihr, oh, Deutsch plötzlich wieder. Uns ist da irgendwie 12, 13 Folgen tatsächlich dann doch mal aufgefallen, dass wir irgendwann die Subtitles umgestellt haben. Beziehungsweise die ganze Sprachausgabe plötzlich auf Englisch war. Und das haben wir nicht mitbekommen.
If only you hadn't told Adelaide about me, I might share my thoughts with you. As it is, you're on your own.
Erst neulich, als jemand das in den Kommentaren schrieb, vielen, vielen Dank. Leider unter einer älteren Folge. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wie uns das passiert ist.
Whoever drew this was a hack. That looks more like a piece of toast than a flower.
Aha, Flower. Ich bin gespannt, ob wir echt nochmal den Bogen hinkriegen zum Anfang. Justice, wir haben einen Toten in einem Wohnzimmer. Okay. Bild 2. Justice. Ah, ist ja der Justice Killer. Aha.
Oh, were you hoping for some witty insight? Shame, because you're not getting any.
Eine weitere
I'm
Blume.
sure this is terribly relevant.
Okay, nochmal Justice und...
I don't feel like looking at dead bodies right now. Is there something more exciting we could be doing?
Die Stimme in unserem Kopf scheint mir ein bisschen ungehalten. Der letzte Fall lehrt mich, genau hinzuschauen.
Yeah, he's dead. Big deal. I'm really not in the mood to be analyzing crime scene sketch.
Er ist ganz schön missgelaunt.
Boring.
Oder er merkt, es geht quasi jetzt ins Eingemachte. Gucken.
Wait, what's that? I see an important clue. Just kidding.
Aber,
Boring, just like everything else in this sketch.
yeah, like everything else.
Interesting.
Oh, what? You actually found something without my help? I'm shocked.
Viermal
Maybe you should
Justice.
write crazy over your bed.
Viermal die gleiche Blume. Nicht so genau sagen, was das ist. Okay. Upton, was hast du uns dazu zu sagen?
Upton?
What is...
About those crime scenes,
Yes?
Ja, ich glaube
I
auch.
think I found a connection.
I knew you would. What is it?
Die Blume.
There's a single flower at each crime scene. They look deliberately placed.
There is? Let me have a look. You're right. One lily at each scene.
Wait, what did you say?
These flowers, they're lilies.
Ah,
Easter lilies, I think.
die erste
I
Folge.
don't believe it.
Upton, this is incredible. This is the lead I've been searching for.
What? You mean for another case?
The flower shop burglar. He was stealing Easter lilies. And I distinctly remember him saying something about his desire to uphold justice. At the time, I thought it was just the rambling of a lunatic, but now it seems so obvious.
So the flower shop burglar is the justice killer?
It seems too much of a coincidence otherwise.
Well, then that's wonderful. You can kill two birds with one stone. Excellent work, Fordham. I knew you could do it.
Two birds with one stone. Merke ich mir das als Folgenname?
What exactly are the details regarding this justice killer?
The killings began a few months ago, and so far he's claimed 5 victims. The department wanted to keep this information out of the public eye to prevent a panic, but word has gotten out. On the bright side, it makes your involvement in the case much less suspicious.
Schauen wir doch mal mit dem... Wir beginnen mit dem neuesten Opfer.
What are the details regarding the killer's latest victim?
As I mentioned, the victim is Percival McDonough, a member of parliament. He was found this morning by his secretary in his office. I expect the official investigation is still underway.
So the killer managed to get into the Houses of Parliament. No easy feat.
You can say that again. It's the killer's first high-profile victim. It means he's getting bolder.
I suppose I'll have to drop by and see for myself.
Mhm. Und die anderen?
What can you tell me about the previous victims?
4 men from Chumley: Hannibal Kirkland, Reggie Willingham, Ennis Bowditch, and Burley Cause. No known connection between any of them aside from the borough they lived in. I have copies of the police reports from each of the crime scenes. Go ahead and take them.
Thank you, Upton.
Das ist halt jetzt ganz schön viel Stuff, glaube ich. Wenn wir uns hier jeden
I should get...
Not a
Jeden Crime Scene
Right.
angucken.
I think I have enough information to get started. I think I'll begin with...
Guten Tag.
odd. I wasn't expecting company. Chief Snelling?
Uh-oh.
Upton, we need to talk.
Ja, schnell die Sachen wegmachen.
Fordham, I should have guessed I'd find you here.
Welche angenehme Überraschung. Mit dem habe ich heute zuletzt gerechnet. Wir sind mal nett.
Ah, Chief Snelling. What a pleasant surprise.
I'm equally pleased to see you, Fordham. Although, having you here does save me a bit of trouble.
Trouble.
Those are some rather interesting decorations. Would either of you care to explain how they got here?
And once again, the jig is up. I hope you can talk your way out of this one, too.
Ja, okay. Ich habe dieses Gibson selbst im Revier mitgenommen. Ich habe es ab danach. Wir nehmen das mal für
I
uns,
brought
ne?
them here after I made duplicates and took them from the police department.
Nice try, Fordham, but I know for a fact that isn't true. The Ferroduplicator makes a report of every employee who uses it, as well as what was copied. A rather useful feature for instances such as these. Wouldn't you agree?
These gadgets are gonna be the undoing of us all.
In any case, I did some digging and discovered some intriguing information. Upton, why have you been passing on classified police information to Mr. Fordham?
Because he's the best detective you ever had on the force, and you know it.
Is that right? Personally, I don't consider getting your partner killed the mark of a great detective.
Hallo.
But what's done is done. Constance Upton, your employment with the New Britannia Police Department is hereby terminated.
But
I should add that it's only because of your 25 years of dedicated service that I'm not pressing charges against you. But as for you, Fordham, I have enough evidence to place you under arrest for obstruction of justice and interfering with police investigations. Do you have anything to say in your defense before I take you in for questioning?
Das ist ein unangenehmen Turn hier. Ich weiß, wer der Justice Killer ist. Weiß ich das? Naja, ich habe einen Tipp, aber Upton kann uns da nicht helfen. Und Upton die Schuld. Nein. Das ist mir, ich finde alle drei Optionen scheiße, aber...
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I know who the Justice Killer is.
Fordham, if this is your idea of a diversion...
It's true. I found a link in the sketches of the crime scenes.
All right, let's hear it then. What do you
Oh,
think
so
you
funktioniert.
found?
I'll tell you if you promise to let me take the case.
Out of the question, Fordham. This is a police matter.
and the police haven't made progress in months. Fordham figured it out in a matter of minutes. Admit it, Snelling. Fordham is your best shot at finding the killer. Are you gonna let your personal differences put the people of this city in danger?
Fine. I'll let you continue to operate as an assistant in this case, if you have actually found something of value. Now, what is this link?
He leaves a single Easter lily at each crime scene. The same type of flowers the burglar in the chum was stealing.
I see. A tenuous link, but plausible. I'll give you until tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't come up with anything, I'm throwing you in jail.
Sounds fair to me.
And don't get any
Okay.
clever ideas about leaving town either.
Come now, would I do something like that?
Fordham, it seems there's no telling what you might do. I'm probably a fool for not clapping you in irons right here and now. When you have something to report, come find me in my office. Don't make me regret this.
Also sehr ich das Spiel ja mag.
Well, that went better than I expected.
Except you're still fired. I didn't have a chance to get him to change his mind.
We'll worry about that after you catch the killer. In the meantime, I could use a drink. I'll see you later, Fordham.
Das ist die richtige Einstellung, Captain.
Well, better get to work then. The clock is ticking.
Ja, was ich gerade sagen wollte, so sehr ich dieses Spiel auch mag, so blöd erscheint mir das natürlich ein bisschen hier. Oh, wir haben den einen Hinweis gefunden, der halt so obvious auf jeder dieser Zeichnungen ist. What the fuck? Mann, was kann denn der Rest dieser Polizeieinheit? Aber gut, auf ins Parlament. Denn ja, clock is ticking.
What brings you to this delightful spectacle?
Hello, Edwards. I'm investigating the Justice Killer. I believe I've got a very promising lead.
I heard an officer mention new orders from Snelling, but I thought he was just pulling my leg. Feel free to have a look around. I'm just writing up the notes from my initial examination of the body, so I'll be happy to share my findings.
Good. I'll just get started then.
Vielleicht das so als Zwischenfazit, wenn ich mir nämlich überlege, wie sehr man dann doch auch hinschauen muss in einem Spiel wie Return of Obra Dinn, was ja auch ein Detektivspiel ist, was jetzt hier parallel gerade läuft auf diesem Kanal. Und wie offensichtlich ein Lamplight City Dinge hier ins Gesicht wirft. Klar, es hat andere Stärken, es hat auch einen anderen Fokus, aber für ein Detektivspiel ist das doch alles immer relativ in your face. Wer ist denn das? Das ist doch
Leave it to a politician to hang a portrait of himself in his own
oh,
office.
das ist er selbst, okay.
Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with.
Blut? Dachte ich zumindest bis jetzt.
Nothing but a bunch of boring documents. You'd think he could have at least been considerate enough to keep something scandalous in here. Biographies and autobiographies.
Okay, boring, sagt er. Wir sind jetzt mal ganz besonders sorgfältig. Das haben wir. Haben wir. Die Leiche.
Former Percival McDonough, being a good politician.
Oh, okay, was hat Edwards zu sagen?
Got a moment, Edwards?
Of course. What's on your mind?
So, what was found at the crime scene?
A dead body.
Edwards.
Hey, just trying to lighten the mood a bit. Anyway, there was also the word justice written in blood, as you can see on the floor there.
Is that all?
What more do you need? All the pieces are in place. This is the work of the justice killer.
Na dann
How
mal.
did your examination of the body turn up?
Apparent cause of death was a single gunshot to the head, exactly like all the other victims. The bullet is still lodged in his brain. I'll remove it once I transport the body back to the mortuary.
Anything else?
No personal effects of note, just a folded up piece of paper in his breast pocket. It's blank, so the police weren't interested. I assume you aren't either.
Never assume, Edwards. I'll take it if you don't mind.
Be my guest.
Be my guest. Na, wenn da mal
Did the
nichts mit
police manage to
Geheimtinte
learn
oder so
anything during
draufgeschrieben
their
ist.
investigation?
Not much beyond what I've already told you. I think they were planning on speaking to the victim's wife, though.
Did you get the address?
I did, as a matter of fact. 1820 Kent Place.
Now we get to deal with the grieving widow. Hopefully the officers who delivered the news got the worst of it.
Das war ja der schlimmste Part in dem Job.
Did you find an Easter lily anywhere?
An Easter lily?
Yes. The justice killer leaves one at every crime scene.
Is that right? I never noticed.
Neither did anyone else, apparently.
So how does leaving a lily at the scene of the crime figure into all of this?
I'm still trying to figure that out. But I think it might be important.
Aber seriously, dass sie das bei den 4 Morden vorher
Be
nicht
sure to let me
zusammengekriegt
know if
haben.
you do figure it out. The
Das ist aber nur
thought process
lächerlich.
of killers is a twisted, curious thing.
What's your take on this whole justice killer situation?
It's giving me a lot of extra work, let me tell you. We haven't had a serial murderer in a long time. Not since that fellow who was poisoning people about 10 years ago.
Ah, yes. Gascon Ghoul. Now there was a case.
Any theories or insights regarding the killer's motive or identity?
That's not really my specialty. If you want to get into that psychology stuff, you're better off talking to someone like Snelling.
That's all for now, Edwards.
Good luck with your investigation.
Spannend. Jetzt fragt man sich natürlich, warum fehlt die Lilie? War erst dann gar nicht. Gehen wir mal Richtung trauernde Witwe.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. Your butler just announced me.
Oh, of course. Forgive me. I was just, well, never mind. Please make yourself comfortable, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you, Mrs. McDonough.
Wäre natürlich die Frage, ob es ein Nachahmungstäter war.
They look expensive, but I bet they're totally worthless. I feel sorry for the sucker who has to clean them. Just a painting of some boring old aristocrat. Surely this one was called Lady Felicity Euphemia Beaversnatch the Simple.
Genau, so. See.
Lord Alfred Edward Shufflebottom the Wise comes to mind looking
der.
at this one. They look expensive, but I bet they're totally worthless.
Wenn das auch
They
gleich
look
Schnickschnack
expensive, but I bet
draufsteht.
they're totally worthless.
Ja, kennen wir.
I think I'll call this one Lord Edmund Henry Lickspittle the Elder.
The Elder, okay.
This one looks like a
Ah, die hatten wir gerade, oder?
Lord Alfred
Ah, nein, okay. Guten Tag.
I appreciate you seeing me, Mrs. McDonough. I know you must be going through a difficult time right now.
What exactly is it you want from me, Mr. Fordham? I already spoke to the police about my husband's murder.
I just have a few questions of my own.
Oh, very well.
Sie sieht echt fertig aus.
What can you tell me about your husband?
I'll tell you the same thing I told the police, Mr. Fordham. Percival was one of the hardest working members of Parliament. He took his job extremely seriously. The recent election caused him a terrible amount of consternation, as I'm sure it did most people. He took Atwood's loss rather hard.
Did you see much of him?
I beg your pardon?
Surely someone with such an important position in government could find themselves consumed by their work. Did he spend much time at home?
He made it a point to come home and have dinner with me every night, even if he had to return to the office afterwards.
And did that happen often?
At least 3 or 4 times in a week, yes. He'd stay in his office working late into the night. As I said, he was very dedicated to his role.
Sounds to me like she's quite dedicated to hers, too.
Did your husband have any enemies?
He was a politician, Mr. Fordham. Half the city hated him.
Fair point.
Did he ever receive any kind of threats against his life?
None that I was ever made aware of. I have no idea who could have killed him, let alone who could have gotten into his office to do it. He hadn't told me about any meetings or appointments this week either.
Was it his custom to inform you of his work affairs?
Oh, well, I've always taken an interest in my husband's work. He'd often mention initiatives he was working on or people he was meeting, that sort of thing. Nothing sensitive or confidential, you understand. Just conversation about his day.
Okay.
Can you think of any reason why your husband would have been murdered?
Not really. He was a vocal opponent of the construction of the Gascogne-Chumley Bridge, but I hardly think that would have been sufficient reason to drive someone to murder.
Why is that?
Well, it's just a bridge, isn't it? There are plenty of other ways to get to Chumley.
I meant, why was he opposed to it?
Oh, because the amount of money required to build it is exorbitant. Public funds should be used on roads and buildings that are falling apart. What's the point of having something shiny and new if everything around it is in disrepair?
Okay, auch gut.
How are you feeling, Mrs. McDonough?
My husband of
super
42
Frage.
years was shot in his office. How do you think I feel?
Tactful as always, Fordham. How do you
Ich
do
wollte es abarbeiten,
My
okay.
apologies. Perhaps that wasn't the most appropriate question. Is there anything I can do to help?
You can start by finding the monster who murdered Percival.
Ja, und zwar dieses
Have you heard of the
Monster.
Justice Killer?
That was the name the police mentioned when they told me about Percival's murder. It's absolutely terrifying to think that one sick person could be capable of such evil. Why is he called the Justice Killer? What justice was done by murdering my husband?
I'm afraid I can't answer that right now, Mrs. McDonough, but I intend to find out. Those are all the questions I have for now, Mrs. McDonough.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
Okay, well. Wohin führt uns diese Nummer jetzt als nächstes? Also, Upton ist raus, im Parlament waren wir. Können wir mal uns die Sachen angucken, die wir haben. Also, zweifellos ist der Serienmörder, der unter der Bezeichnung Justice Killer bekannt ist, bei einer und derselben Person, ja. Die Frage ist, ob der Justice Killer auch hier zugeschlagen hat. Ich muss ihn finden. Ich muss das Büro untersuchen. Und müssen mit McDonough reden. Aber eigentlich habe ich das untersucht. Gucken. Das ist das leere Stück Papier. Keine Verdächtigen. Das war jetzt die Polizeiberichte. Gucken wir mal ganz kurz, ob wir Verbindungen sehen. Hannibal Kirkland, 32, Kopfschuss, Eisenkocher bei der Eisenhütte Thorborn. Polizei fand Kirkland in seiner Wohnung, nachdem sein Vorarbeiter angezeigt hatte, dass er nicht zur Arbeit erschienen war. Außer dem Wort Justice, das am Tatort mit Blut geschrieben stand. Nichts Auffälliges im Tatort, keine Zeugen, nichts von Interesse in Kirklands Privatleben ermittelt. Reggie Willingham, 47, Kopfschuss, Taxifahrer. Gefunden zu Hause, nachdem sein Arbeitgeber eine Vermisstenanzeige aufgab. Tatort untersucht, aber keine ungewöhnlichen Dinge festgestellt. Justice mit Blut an der Wand geschrieben. War das hier auch mit Blut? Naja. Da keine Zeugen, Leben und Gewohnheiten von Willingham ergaben keine Auffälligkeiten. Ernest Bowditch, 29. Ein Bauarbeiter an der Brücke. Aha. Von Gascogne nach Chomley. Das ist schon eine kleine Verbindung, ne? Die Polizei fand Bowditch zu Hause auf, nachdem sein Arbeitgeber die Polizei verständigte. Mit dieser aufmerksamen Arbeitgeber. Tatort zeigte typische Spuren des sogenannten Justice Killers, aber sonst keine weiteren Hinweise, keine Zeugen, keine Erkenntnisse durch Befragung seiner Kollegen und seiner Ex-Freunde. Burley Course, 26 Kopfschuss Lampenanzünder. Nachdem die Nachbarin Ethel Williamson einen Schuss gemeldet hatte von Officer Douglas Parsons, kennen wir den nicht schon? Ihn in seiner Wohnung. Parsons untersuchte den Tatort und fand das mit Blut geschriebene Wort Justice, aber keine weiteren Hinweise. Nachforschung zu Courses Privatleben und Gewohnheiten ergaben keine weiteren Hinweise. Okay, dachte ich mir, dass wir jetzt hier alles dann damit aufdecken. Ich würde sagen, dann können wir ja nochmal starten. Die Brückenbaustelle schien mir jetzt gerade die interessanteste.
Safe for only 25 men at once. I used to draw the line at 2.
Das ist natürlich nett hier.
Excuse me.
Hey, what are you doing here? This is a construction area.
I'm Miles
Der
Fordham,
arbeitet auch
private
nachts.
investigator. I'm looking into the murder of a man who used to work here.
Fordham? You the same man who got Laura Dupre arrested?
Yes, that's right.
Ah, good to meet you. I'm Gerard. My sister Amelie used to work as her cook. Would tell me stories about how horrible Dupre was. Good to see some justice done for a change.
Aha,
Glad
Justice.
to be of service. And good to meet you as well, Gerard.
So you say you looking into a murder? You talking about Bowditch?
Yes, that's right. I had a few questions for you, if you don't mind.
Nah, should be okay to talk for a few minutes.
Okay.
You worked with Ennis Bowditch, right? What can you tell me about him?
Ennis was fun to talk to, always telling stories. Pretty sure most of them were made up. But it made time go by faster while we worked, and he made me laugh. We weren't really friends, but it's duller without him around, you know?
Wow.
Do you know what Bowditch did on his off time?
Not really. I only saw him on the job. But I know he was seeing a woman. I forget what he said her name was, though.
Did he mention anything else about her?
Oh, sure, but I don't think they are the type of thing that would help you,
Okay.
if you get my meaning.
Right. Anything of a non-personal nature that might help me find her?
Yes, he mentioned she worked as the serving girl at the ruined coffee house.
I
Das ist
see.
echt eine lange Geschichte
Nice.
hier. Zumindest sehr, sehr viele Orte.
Do you know any details concerning Bowditch's murder?
I only found out when the boss man told us.
Can you think of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Well, everyone here liked him. I don't think he owed no one money or nothing like that. But maybe someone at his other job wasn't so friendly with him. Who knows?
Other job?
Ennis also worked at the docks as a longshoreman.
Well, that would have been handy to know sooner. Better late than never, I guess.
Hilft uns das?
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice killer? No, I don't know anything about that. Who is he?
A serial murderer. He's the one who killed Ennis Bowditch.
And you trying to find him?
That's the plan.
Well then, I wish you
Und
luck.
sollte meinen, er hätte den
Ennis
Namen
didn't
eigentlich mal in der
deserve to die
Zeitung
the way he
gelesen.
did. I hope that murdering bastard gets what he deserves.
So, the Gascogne-Chumley Bridge is finally being worked on.
That's right. The project started up again shortly after the election. That Leroy, he's not wasting any time. Maybe a good thing for this city and for the country.
Indeed. I think it will be. How long before the bridge is complete, do you think?
They say it will take 5 years, but who knows? As long as the work is steady, you won't find me complaining.
Also machen wir 10 draus. Bei uns wird gerade die Fassade saniert. Es dauert einen Monat. Jetzt sind die, glaube ich, seit mindestens 2,5 dabei. Und es sieht immer noch so aus, als würden sie da bis Weihnachten sitzen.
How's your sister doing?
Good. She still works for the Dupre family, but with that monster Laura gone, she's much happier. She tells me the family is acting like the madame never existed, and the husband raised Amelie's pay, too.
That
Schlechtes
does sound like an
Gewissen.
improvement.
It's just a shame 2 others had to die for it.
Do you normally work in construction?
Mostly. Sometimes I'd be doing other jobs here and there. But I'm lucky to have gotten this job. I think it will keep me in work for a long time. Which is good, because I have 3 mouths to feed at home.
Be sure to watch yourself then. I hear these types of jobs can be dangerous.
Oh, believe me, I know. One slip up and bam! That's the end of you. But I always watch myself.
Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate the information.
Not a problem, boss.
Ich habe sich mal inzwischen überall
I
umgeguckt.
wonder if it would be any fun to tie yourself to that.
Ich gehe mal ein bisschen fix durch gerade. Zack, zack. Die Jungs kommentiert dann nicht, okay.
Huh, they seem to be making pretty decent progress.
Mal angucken auf der Karte. Karte. Na, wenn hier Chomley ist. Es sind überhaupt gar keine Brücken eingezeichnet, what the fuck. Gut, hier wird's. Ich meine, hier ist mal eine eingezeichnet. Aber wenn das hier quasi die Mündung ins Meer in den Atlantik ist und dann hier der Hodgman River. Es muss aber eine Verbindung eigentlich geben nach Chomley. Ist ein bisschen komisch. Haben sie irgendwie vergessen auf der Karte, denke ich, oder? Kann ja nicht sein. Kann ja nicht irgendwie um den Fluss hier oben rüber jedes Mal müssen, wenn ich nach Chomley will. Nun denn, ich würde sagen, in der nächsten Folge gucken wir uns mal noch die anderen an. Jostes Willen, ey. Also den... Ach, jetzt muss ich zu den Docks. Ja, wir gehen aber noch gleich zu den Docks, würde ich sagen, verfolgen diesen Fall. Also seinen zweiten Job, dann gucken wir uns die anderen 3 Kollegen an und dann schauen wir mal. Das wird spannend. Bis zur nächsten Folge.